Forgiveness is like faith, you have to keep reviving it. Love is an act of endless forgiveness, a tender look which becomes a habit. Confront the dark parts of yourself and work to banish them with illumination and forgiveness. Your willingness to wrestle with your demons will cause your angels to sing. Our lack of forgiveness makes us hate, and our lack of compassion makes us hard-hearted. Pride in our hearts makes us resentful and keeps our memory in a constant whirlwind of passion and self-pity. Hate is self-destructive. If you hate somebody, you're not hurting the person you hate, you're hurting yourself, and that's a healing. Actually, it's a real healing, forgiveness. Most of us need time to work through pain and loss. We can find all manner of reasons for postponing forgiveness. One of these reasons is waiting for the wrongdoers to repent before we forgive them. Yet such a delay causes us to forfeit the peace and happiness that could be ours. Forgiveness takes time. It is the last step of the grieving process. Anger ventilated often hurries towards forgiveness. Anger concealed often hardens into revenge. I think the first step is to understand that forgiveness does not exonerate the perpetrator. Forgiveness liberates the victim. It's a gift you give to yourself. If you're truthful with yourself and others, forgiveness clears the path to righteousness, to grace. All we want is grace. We all want that light in our lives, and we can only get that when we go deep into the truth. Without forgiveness, there's no future. Thankfully, forgiveness and the healing it brings in its wake has nothing to do with deserve. Once people are not here physically, the spiritual remains. We can still connect, we can communicate, we can give and receive love and forgiveness. There is love after someone dies. And the only thing to do with the sin is to confess, do penance, and then, after some kind of decent interval, ask for forgiveness. So many people ask, how could you forgive your mother for the way you were raised? It's really not forgiveness, in my opinion. It's acceptance. She's never going to be the sort of mother who wants to take care of me. Forgiveness is about empowering yourself rather than empowering your past. Choosing forgiveness opens the door of your heart and makes way for a miracle in your life. Forgiveness is that subtle thread that binds both love and friendship. Without forgiveness, you may not even have a child one day. I can't turn the clock back, but I can seek the forgiveness of those I've wronged. When I am able to resist the temptation to judge others, I can see them as teachers of forgiveness in my life, reminding me that I can only have peace of mind when I forgive rather than judge. If I say, I forgive you, I have implicitly said you have done something wrong to me. But what forgiveness is at heart is both saying that justice has been violated and not letting that violation count against the offender. I have my foundation. I help the children who are victims of war, and I talk about kids, and I help people to understand how horrible war is and how beautiful the world can be if we can live with love, hope, and forgiveness. Forgiveness has an uncanny way of bringing incredible good out of incredibly bad situations. On a level of simple personal survival, understanding and forgiveness are crucial, whether in an intimate personal relationship or on a global level. What if we strove for compassion, for mercy, for forgiveness? And what if we did this for everybody, including people who have harmed us? Every one of us have been disappointed before and have had to go through the grieving process of anger and, disappointment, and then acceptance and forgiveness. The fact is, there is forgiveness for those who seek God, and I believe in the power of redemption. I love my children. That will never change. I have prayed to them for forgiveness and hope that they will forgive me. I never meant to hurt them. To understand somebody else as a human being, I think, is about as close to real forgiveness as one can get. Dear friends, faith and forgiveness is much more powerful than napalm could ever be. The first step in forgiveness is the willingness to forgive. We only learn at the speed of pain, and we don't have others in our lives without forgiveness. Life is life. You have to learn how to forgive people and how to gain forgiveness for yourself. New kinds of heroics need to be celebrated, like love, thoughtfulness, forgiveness, diplomacy, or we're not going to get there. Many people have trouble with forgiveness because they have been taught it is a singular act to be completed in one sitting. That is not so. Forgiveness has many layers, many seasons. Asking for forgiveness is just one of the most painful kind of experiences. Having known war, I know the value of peace. Having lived under a government control, I know the value of freedom. Having lived with hatred, terror, and corruption, I know the value of faith and forgiveness. My experience has shown me that many people struggle with forgiveness of self and/or others. I come from a background where, if someone is rough and tough, you handle things physically. People betrayed me and you just want to choke them, but you choose forgiveness. As a matter of fact, forgiveness is not something you feel like doing. It's really a choice.